Documentation of the tree as is. Well, in the middle of the yard we got a stick. So it reaches all the way over to the left into the other trees. The top part broke off there. A lot of branches to be cut off, cut up and dragged out of here. And then over here at the edge of the woods is where it gets too big. I won't be able to cut it. I can cut it over there. Over here it's going to be too big. I can limit, but that trunk is going to be too big. Don't know what we're going to do with that trunk. And then through the trees, you can just barely see the other half of the tree. It's still up there. But at least that half is leaning the other direction more. Doesn't mean it won't fall this way if the wind's blowing this way, but we've also got this, we got some good firewood out of this because it took down one good, I thought it was more bushes. It's actually one big tree. It's actually a big tree. I'm not the expert. But one big hardwood. It's not maple, not oak, but it's 8 or 10 inches in diameter here. I don't know exactly where it starts. I guess right there, but the tree took it down. So we got some firewood out of it. And then we've also got another pine tree, another small pine tree, 10 inches in diameter over there where it knocked that over. So that's all got to get cut up too. Yeah. Oh, and then there's something else over in the woods. Huh, didn't even see that one last time. I have to walk around. I can't get there that way. Let's go the other way. Can't get there from here. But over on the other side, over there, we got a second tree. I hadn't even seen that last time. I assumed it was down when we were here, but we were so distracted by this monstrosity of a thing. Oh, there's another hardwood. It took down another hardwood that's up here at 45 degrees. That's going to be interesting. Got to take that down without getting killed by it. We got another 18-inch. Saturday. This is June 27th, 2026. I spent probably a good hour and a half working out of 2.5 hours. 80-something degrees out, so it's not exactly prime time for work. I got the whole top section limbed and all the big limbs dragged off, mostly down Love's Nature Trail, off to the right and left, dispersed in the woods. I haven't got to the other trees that were taken down yet. I haven't done anything with the big part of the trunk. I haven't done anything with those limbs sticking up into oblivion. But I got a good start for today. "7:30 in the evening. This evening I mowed the whole driveway and the parking space over here and a little patch behind the cabin. I didn't get this mowed because the mower battery was dead, but it's charging. We'll get it tomorrow or the next day. Your 1 p.m. Sunday progress report. Progress in quotes, because it may not look like a lot of progress. Well, I have spent a couple hours, and I have, there were 2 hardwood trees in the mix. This one over here, 6 inches. It goes back, way the heck back there, but I only cut as far as I could get. That's 6 inches. This one down here, maybe an inch bigger, maybe 7 inches. I cut this one up, and I've cut a piece out of the middle of this one. I've cut off a ton of branches, and I've made a pile. I haven't even tried to disperse the stuff, just dragging, mostly pine limbs, just dragging it out of the, this is like pickup sticks over in this end. It was just a maze. You couldn't stand anywhere. You can look at it like right here. There's nowhere to stand, there's nowhere to work. How do you get at it to cut anything? Yeah, it's slow going. And it's funny because some of them are at least a foot into the ground. We had all that rain Saturday night, and then when the tree came down, all the big branches, like this one right there. See that one that's 5 inches in diameter? I bet that goes 18 inches deep in the ground. Some of them just go quite a ways down. I've got some of the smaller ones out. I haven't got to the work on the big ones right underneath the tree yet, and I don't even know if I'll get to those this weekend. But unfortunately, the tree fell. That's the path down to the stream with the bridge. So it fell right across that. Poor planting. Your 3:15 check-in. The good news. The giant game of pickup sticks with the 2 hardwood trees and all the branches from the big pine tree that were right in this area is over. That's all cleared. The bad news is, unlike yesterday when I dispersed things through the woods, today all I've managed to do is create a 3-foot high by 8-foot wide, 15-foot long from end to end, pile of big branches, and a 4 to 5 foot high pile of small branches, a little bit of good hardwood. The rest of this hardwood I haven't cut yet. It's sprung, so I have to cut from the bottom to keep from jamming the saw, which I already did once. And on the other side, we have one more pile of branches. And oh, the bad news, that other tree that I thought had fallen in the woods, no, the top end of the pine tree is out in the yard too. So from there up, it's going to have to get cut up. There's also a small piece of hardwood in there too, but I don't think it's a big tree. I think it just took a branch off one of these other trees. So, A, progress, B, slow. Also, the ground is just covered. The only way I can do anything with this stuff probably is just to try to rake it if I have a rake. But it's going to end up making a pile 4 feet high. I don't know how I'm going to move it all and disperse that stuff. Need the front end loader with the Kubota. And you go over there and it's a foot deep underneath the tree. Just small pine branches that all broke off. This part up here isn't too bad because I picked most of them up so I wouldn't trip over them. Well, 3:15, that's where we are. 20 past 4. Going in for supper. The pickup sticks game has been done. The main trunk is limbed, including those high ones that were sticking up. Most of the stuff's piled over there. Got a little pile of good hardwood here. A bunch of good hardwood scattered around over here. A big brush pile over here. A huge pile of logs over there. And I haven't done the last 20 feet going into the woods. We still got hardwood and pine and stuff over there. We got one more pile of brush over here, and the big one sticking up I just cut down. It will need to get cut up in order to move it. But 4:20, I'm going in for supper. After supper, maybe I'll mow up here, and then I can start piling the wood somewhere here. I do have a strawberry. Conkey grew strawberries here once upon a time, and you see the leaves every year. But today, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it again, I was coming up to go to lunch, and I looked down and I saw a little red strawberry. It's about a 1/4 inch in diameter. The only one I've ever seen. These pants, these are my hiking pants. They were my old hiking pants. The legs had rips in them, and they're starting to rip out near the zipper. But I think after this weekend, these pants are going in the trash. Sunday night, and I'm having the house special at the Ellsworth Hilton. I'm having Caesar salad with pepper jack cheese and buffalo chicken, and diet root beer. Sunday at 7:20. Well, I got this area up here mowed, and I made some good progress on the tree today. I got rid of the huge pickup stick tangle of 2 hardwoods and pine limbs. Unfortunately, the pine tree did not get dragged off into the woods like I did yesterday. There's a huge pile of pine branches, bigger than last time I videoed it. And there's a whole bunch of brush. And this stuff here is still ankle deep in just little crap that needs to be raked. I'll get to that another day. I do have some firewood, not for this winter, but for the winter after. That's most of the hardwood. There's a little bit more in there, but not much. Sure looks different than it did when I arrived yesterday afternoon. Now I got to figure out if somebody wants that, or if I just got to chop it up and roll it out in the woods. Oh, I hope somebody wants it. "4:30 on Monday. Time for a status update. The big tree is much like it was yesterday. I did cut off a few more of the little stubby limbs. But the main work today was on the second tree, which is now completely limbed. The branches from that one are mostly dispersed, mostly because there are some in this pile right here. Actually, probably half are in this pile right here, but half of the branches from the top are all dispersed through the woods. And the other progress is part of the lawn is raked. Exhibit A, grass. Exhibit B, stuff. So that's the progress for today. at least until 4:30. I might come out after supper and do some more. Salad of the day at the Ellsworth Hilton is French bistro. The 7:30 update. The grass is mowed all the way down to the tree. And obviously that means it's raked all the way down to the tree. Big pile of brush on the other side that needs to get raked across the last part. That pile of brush is dispersed through the woods. Not that pile, and not that pile. But I got rid of one pile. "8:30 on Tuesday morning. It's 62 out and 65 inside. Not a warm morning. Tarp number 4. How to get rid of all the small stuff. Not easily. Break it up. Throw it on a top. That's about a top load. Easy to twist the first ones, it's hard to twist the second ones. See you later. And I'm back, ready for tarp 5. Not ready, you have to rake it and everything to get ready. 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes to take one tarp down. 1:30. A little bit warmer out, 90 degrees. Not too bad in here, 72. 1:50 on Tuesday. There was a third hardwood tree. It was actually a standing deadwood. It was on this side. It had been taken down. It was hung up. So I took that down. Here's a couple of the little branches from it left over that didn't get thrown away yet. But I cut that up for firewood. I finished raking this lower section, and 7 tarp loads of crap got taken out and dispersed in the woods. So other than having the big tree in the middle of my yard right here, the other tree sticking out just a little bit, all that's left is the big brush pile, which I do want to get rid of, and then the big log pile, which reluctantly I want to get rid of, but that's going to be a lot of work. The brush needs to go. So what have I got to show for it in terms of firewood? This pile here is all the 2 green hardwoods that the big pine took down. And over here, we get a decent amount of firewood from the one standing deadwood it took down. That'll be ready to burn this year. That's going in the shed. Other than that tree sticking out in the middle, this yard don't look bad. The 3 o'clock update. Todd came over because he came up last night, so he stopped over to say hi. And we were talking about the tree, and he said that Tom Sawyer, my next door neighbor through the woods right over there, has a sawmill. So I just went over and talked to Tom, and him and his wife Susan just came back over and looked at the tree, and Tom's like, yeah, I could use that tree. So we're going to get rid of our tree. The Wednesday 12:45 progress report. Last night I got almost everything picked up from that small brush pile. This morning I picked up most of the rest of the stuff. I still need to rake some of the tiny stuff. And then I started working on this pile. This pile may look smaller than it used to be, hopefully, because so far I've made 17 trips dragging everything from here back out into the woods and throwing it sort of off the banking over near the wetland area over there that I never go into. So I'm just kind of tossing it down the hill. The goal is hopefully it's less than 100 trips. We'll see. Does the pile look smaller? It should. It's 118, and I've now hauled 30 loads. Yeah. Whew. Time for a break. I just realized that one of the 2 live trees that the big pine took down had red berries on it. I don't know what kind of tree this is, but we will look it up when we get back to civilization. 4:16. What pile of big limbs? What pile of brush? What anything in my yard except one huge trunk of a huge pine tree and one small trunk of a pine tree. Everything else is looking good. 4:18, 94 out, 83 inside. A warm day. No, a very hot day. And I made something like 57 trips to carry all of that pine limbs and all the rest of the small branches that were with it way out back and dumped them over near the big wetland part over back. Bottom line is something like 57 trips a long way, dragging wood in the 90-degree heat. That's basically my accomplishment for the day. Whew. How hot and sweaty am I? I just wiped my face once. Then I wiped my arms once. But if I wipe them a second time, Exhibit A, I'm not a clean person right now. I got 2 strawberries there. I think it's Thursday, and it's 4:54. It's 91 degrees out and 86 in the Hilton. I didn't get up until late, so I didn't get the windows closed early. Hasn't done a good job of keeping it cool today. Today's been a relaxing day for me, and I say that relatively speaking. I didn't do a whole lot until 3:30, something like that. At 3:30, I decided to trim the driveway. So I took the brush cutter and I went up one side and down the other. I had to stop and reload string in the brush cutter, but I did that. Then I had the long handle clippers, so I decided to cut back some of the small stuff growing into the driveway. I was going to use the chainsaw at first because there was a couple trees right across from where we parked the car here. But the chain is dull again. It needs to get swapped out again. Apparently I hit a rock. How could that be when you're cutting things on the ground? But at any rate, I took the clippers and I managed to go all the way up and all the way back down the driveway. But that's been like reaching up over my head and reaching into the woods and working pretty hard for the last hour. And I am, as you can probably tell, a little sweaty and a little hot. And it was 4:25, time to remind me to take my pill. So I worked my way back. I didn't quite finish the driveway. It's actually all right, but there's a little piece that I didn't finish. I'm going to do that some other time, maybe after supper when it cools off. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next year or the year after. Whew. Right now I'm going to sit here and feel the sweat running down my neck and keep wiping it off and try to cool off enough so I have the ambition to make supper and then eat it. Good night. Thursday night, 5 o'clock-ish. Goodbye, part one of the pine tree. Yeah, that's a couple feet in the ground.
That's where the woodchuck will live.
Yeah, I just got a bucket of dirt out. I got a whole lot of holes to fill. The place was never level, but it's less level now with the holes in it. That one wasn't too bad. That's only 18 inches in. It was half gone anyway because the other hardwood had taken the branches off that side. I don't have many fir here, but right up the hill that's all fir.
What's that, Bob?
I said, I don't have many fir trees right here, but if you go down and across the brook, that area up there is all fir.
That's loaded. So, yeah, that's a nice spot up there.
Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about it.
You might come back.
Like I said, it lost some branches on the other side anyway. That hardwood came down between the two and it wiped that side off, so.
This will be a good load here.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to have to lift it. I think he took 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 5. That one's big enough to go by itself. A couple more of the big diameter, but shorter because they're so big. Then we got the other tree. The other tree will be easy, relatively speaking. You think so? You got this stump on the other side here.
Okay.
We'll see.
Track the Lugsies, but I have to track the Lugsies all right, but I have to back down my driveway because if they don't, you go for a ride.
Have you met any cars on the road?
No, well, one. Yeah, one. They go right around though.
I'm sure it gives them a little moment.
What's that? What's that?
Oh, you made it. I had my doubts.
That thing's pretty good. I mean, that's just an idle. That tractor's just idling,
Yeah.
and it pulls pretty good.
Yep.
I like it because I can pull a cable way out there.
Right.
I don't do any damage other than dragging the tree out.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to try to fit the tractor through, just the tree.
Just the tree, yeah. Yeah, I go out about as far as I want, and then where it's real steep, you know, I can sit on the driveway and just pull.
Right.
And then wintertime, if somebody's stuck like they usually are, I can run up, because I got chains on that in the winter. And I hook it to their car, and I hook it to myself a few times. Stuck.
This one could be more of a challenge to get underneath.
Yeah, it is.
I'll pick it up while you put the chain under. How's that? In my dreams. Doesn't look promising. I got a rock bar if you want to try to pry it at any point.
Yeah, we might have to do that, Bob.
While we're out here working, we realized I tripped over something. When I went to see what it was, I thought it was a branch. We got old barbed wire all curled up in the ground over here. If we think of it, we'll throw the winch on it and see if we can just pull some of that out of the ground. If not, I'll just cut it next to the ground. Whatever's left will be at least underground, not up above where you trip over it. So we got the big one left to do here, then we just got the small tree. See what we get.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, we got one end. I'm not sure we got the other end.
Come out all of it.
It's coming back around this
Yeah,
way.
coming back around that way. Might have to cut it, Bob.
Yeah, that we can do.
And I can
We have the technology.
then I can pull
We
it
do.
out again.
You get it? This tree's gonna go as one load. Hours work and the trees are gone. Not bad at all. And the best part for me is the trees are going for free, and he got the wood for free. So, the Ellsworth Hilton, the wood pile of the new green wood, and the yard with no trees at all. Looks kind of good. Goodbye, last tree. 10 minutes to 3. 90-something degrees on Friday. Sounds like a good time to cut a little firewood. This little 45-degree thing is a top of a dead hardwood. The dead hardwood is the one you can see in the back with a little orange tape on it. It goes up there. And we'll see if we can get those down and cut up. We'll see how it goes. 3:03, pill time, 92 degrees out. Out cutting firewood. It's interesting to look at this tree. The pine tree came from up there. It laid right down across that hardwood. And the two of them came down and came across this one, and they bent it right over. And the hardwood just basically splintered it. This was down at 90 degrees before I cut off the other part. But if you look at it, it just looks like it exploded down here. All the different pieces of it. Interesting. But I'm busy doing firewood. A little bit of it. The tree's down. 5 o'clock Friday. Getting ready for the fireworks and the storm. It's going to be a race to see if we have fireworks. I do have wood in the shed. I got it over halfway up. That's not bad. We've also got the whole, you can't see it in the dark, but we got 1 3/4 rack of the really over dry. And I got that much green wood for the next year. We also got all that stuff outside, which has been out there too. Tonight is flares around the lake. Also, miscellaneous people setting off fireworks. 7:30 Saturday. 81 out, 74 in. It feels more like 90. I've been out there. Saturday night, 7:15. Just took a little walk up to say goodbye to Brown Brook and the falls. Going pretty good for 4th of July. I've seen it a lot lower. Saturday evening, 10:40. Today was a quieter, easier day. Out behind the house where it's all ferns, there's a lot of small maple trees and other pine trees, etc., starting to grow up in there. I went through, I cut 3 great big armloads of small trees and threw them over the embankment out back by the power lines. I picked up the trail going out to the power lines a little bit. I wandered through that back section of woods looking for trees to cut. I found a couple nice ones, but I don't dare to cut them because they're close enough to the power lines that if they fall the wrong direction, it'll wipe out the power lines. And then there's a big dead one, which is right near the power line. So I'm going to notify the co-op and tell them if they want to come knock those trees down now. It might save them having to come out there and cut the trees and restring the wires this winter. So if they do that, then I'll be able to get some firewood out of those trees if they chop them down, cut them down. I did take down one 8-inch standing deadwood, but it was quite rotted, so I didn't even try to cut it up. I just cut it into a couple pieces and threw it off in the woods. It was past due. And then this evening, I spent cleaning up the Ellsworth Hilton. It's cleaner than it's been since I arrived. Not 100% spick and span yet. I still got to have my breakfast and stuff and go out in the morning. But I swept up and I cleaned up and I dumped the ashes out of the ash pan and out of the stove. I did dump the toilet bucket again today, so that'll be on E next time we show up. And yeah, that's about it for the day. Tomorrow the plan is to get up, have breakfast, and then do the last couple chores, and then head south back to reality. Oh well, I guess you got to face it sometime. As the sign says, I love being here, but such is life. 9 days and 8 nights. It's been a pretty good vacation. The other thing is I cleaned out all of the expired food. The record winner was one that was expired in, I think it was 2018. Most of the stuff expired in 2022 or 2023. So we got rid of a lot of food. At this point, the only thing left for emergency food is one Mountain House meal, and that's good until June of 2049. So that one will be able to stay here. We can have some chicken and dumplings if we ever get run out of food. That's the Hilton at 10:58. It's now 11:19. I'm down in Plymouth. 11:49. I'm coming up to exit 20 Tilton. I'm a long way from home, and I'm moving at right now 16 miles an hour. I didn't get out early enough to beat the traffic. 12:30, and the ETA is 2:30. We'll see.